right now it's real popular to be talking about the formula and churches and all that. So I'm going to give my take on it. It's real simple. A lot of people, I think, are missing the overall point because they're defending their church or an individual church on their stance. The point was not necessarily, in my mind, the point was not, are you going to give me formula or not? Um, it was the willingness to help out somebody in need. Jesus said himself, he warned against, the charitable giving. When I was hungry, you did not feed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me no drink. And they're like, well, when did we see you hungry? When did we see you thirsty? I would have given you food. I'd have given you water. Whatever you do to the least of these, you do to me. The thing is, not every church, not every charter has a plan for food donations or money donations. And that's perfectly fine. That's acceptable. That is how the individual charter of that church is set up. I think the overall problem where the rubber hits the road in this issue is that this person was not offered any sort of lead, any sort of help. In many cases, the answer was a very cold, unless you pay dues to our church, we'll give you nothing. And that's where it becomes dangerous. Those are the churches that I'm not defending. When you sit there and say, unless you are on our payroll, and by that I mean unless you are donating money to us on the weekly, because let's get it straight, the church calls it a tithe, the Bible does not. Look up what the Bible actually defines as tithing. It's not given to the church every week. That's not it. That's a different subject for a different day. But when you're only offering to people that are in your congregation, you're no longer a charity, you're a club. And that's a problem. I personally do not have the money to give out to somebody to buy formula or to buy food. We're struggling ourselves in many ways. But what I do know how to do, I know people. I can make calls on your behalf. I can get numbers to organizations that help with people in your with your problem. I can scroll through Facebook groups, and while I can't do it right now, there were several years ago when I was able to drive, I routinely drove multiple states away, hours at a time, to get supplies because that's where they were. And the churches this woman called are not even offering that. They're not saying, well, we don't do it, but if you call this community organization, they are set up to help. They're not offering that. Instead, they're saying, well, no, unless you're a member of our church, you get nothing. That's where the problem is. That's where the breakdown is. Now, we also see on the other side of this coin the Appalachia grandpa. That man is the living embodiment of what we should all strive for, because the only question he asked, what flavor? That's it. He didn't care about the money, didn't care where the money was going to come from. He knew that baby needed help, and he was going to help. Didn't ask questions. Wasn't sitting there considering, well, maybe this is a scam. Maybe, somebody's trying to take advantage of me. Never even crossed his mind. He was putting his shoes on while he was still on the phone. And churches like that, people like him, need to be praised and need to be rewarded, and until their church and their ministry overflows. But to the churches that are, not even offering we don't help, but here's a number to find somebody that can. To those churches, those are the ones that I'm upset with. Those are the ones that I do not, I have no part of. That's my take on the situation. is it all comes down to that. You can sit there and go, oh well, my church, well, at our church we do. That's fine. Your church is your church, but the real question is, did they offer? It may not be money or substance. Did they offer any sort of assistance other than sucks to suck? Because that's what a lot of churches did do, and that's where the outrage is. And if you're defending that, then you've got a problem.